Hi there, my name is Danny Singh. I'm an English teacher. Today I'm going to explain the difference between two different tenses that many of my students often get confused, the simple past and the present perfect. Normally, the simple past, the event is complete, or we know the time of the event. Present perfect, the event may not be complete, or we don't know the time at which the event happened or is happening. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples. So again, simple past, the event is complete, or we know the time of the event. Present perfect, the event is not complete, or we do not know the time of the event. Simple past, the sentence will usually have some kind of time word. Examples: yesterday, last year, this morning, ago. If a sentence has any of these words, the sentence is normally in the simple past tense. In contrast, if a sentence is in the present perfect tense, it may have the following words: since, for, at the moment. So again, if the sentence has yesterday, last year, this morning, ago, or another word that suggests the time of the event, then normally the sentence is simple past. In contrast, if the sentence says since, for, at the moment, or another similar word, then the sentence is normally in the present perfect tense. When an American asks, have you ever is a present perfect question. It's normally have you ever plus the past participle. Have you ever visited Brazil? Okay, so my past participle is visited. Have you ever drunk soda? What's the past participle? Drunk. Okay. The simple past, the question structure is different. Normally the question starts with did. Okay. Did you visit Brazil yesterday? See, the question has yesterday. When the question or the sentence has a time word, it's normally simple past. So, did you visit Brazil yesterday? The positive response: yes, I did. And the negative response is no, I didn't. Okay. So again, simple past, the event is complete, or we know the time of the event. Present perfect, the event is not complete, or we do not know the time of the event. The structure for simple past questions, you start with did. The structure for present perfect questions is normally have you ever. I'm providing a link to this presentation on the Zoom chat. This presentation will explain the difference between the simple past and the present perfect. Okay, so use the simple past for an event that was finished. Use the present perfect for an event that has not finished. So let's compare the meaning of these two sentences. Sarah lived in Boston for 5 years. Sentence number 2, Sarah has lived in Boston for 5 years. So sentence number one, is it simple past or present perfect? Sentence number one. Sentence number one is simple past because sentence number one does not have the word has. Okay. Sentence number two is present perfect because it has the word has. When the sentence has, normally the sentence is present perfect. Present perfect sentence structure. Okay. It's normally subject plus have or has plus past participle. Okay. If the subject is plural, we use have. If the subject is singular, we use has. Okay. Danny has taught English. What's the subject? Danny. So Danny is one person. Danny is singular. We use has. What's the past participle? Taught. Okay. So this sentence is present perfect. Does anyone know how can we change this present perfect sentence into a simple past sentence? Does anyone know? So to make this present perfect sentence into a simple past sentence, we remove has. We just say Danny taught English yesterday. Simple past. Okay, you can say Danny taught English yesterday, Danny taught English last year, Danny taught English last month. So again, present perfect, it's subject plus have or has plus past participle. Simple past, you don't use has. You don't use have. Simple past, you do not use have and you do not use has. Has and have are only for the present perfect. So again, the first sentence, Sarah lived in Boston for 5 years. This is simple past. It means Sarah may not be living in Boston right now. Maybe Sarah moved. Sentence number two is present perfect. The significance, it means Sarah still lives in Boston. Next year, 6 years, next year, 7 years, next year, 8 years. So sentence number one, it's possible Sarah moved to a new location. Sentence number two, Sarah still lives in Boston. Sentence number one is simple past. Sentence number two is present perfect. Okay, so you need to memorize this. Use the simple past with time words like yesterday, last Saturday, last week, last month, last year, ago, when I was in 1990. So simple past will have such words in the sentence or similar words that tell you the time at which the event happened. Present perfect will not have these words. The present perfect will not have time words. Normally, the present perfect will have words like recently, lately, since, so far, this week, month, year. Okay, again, simple past, the event is complete. Present perfect, the event is not complete, or we don't know the time of the event. For negative, we say subject plus have or has plus never plus past participle. Okay. So again, this is the structure. He, she, it, plus has, plus past participle. This is present perfect singular. He, she, it, plus has, plus past participle. This is present perfect singular. I, you, we, they, plus have, plus past participle. This is present perfect plural. So again, has is singular, have is plural. For negative present perfect, it's he, she, it, plus hasn't. Hasn't means has not, plus past participle. Hasn't is singular. I, you, we, they, plus haven't, plus past participle is plural. Again, hasn't is present perfect singular. Haven't is present perfect plural. So interrogative, I said, have you ever is always present perfect. There's another way you can say the present perfect question. You can say has he, she, it plus past participle. Has Danny visited Brazil? Has Danny visited Brazil? No, he has not. Or no, he hasn't. Have you visited Brazil? Have you visited Brazil? And your person, your partner would respond, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. So again, has is singular, have is plural. Can you please do these exercise problems in your notebook? Okay, so number one, when I was a child, I a lot. Okay, so number one, what is the correct answer? So number one is simple past because it says when I was a child. This is the time reference. So we say when I was a child, what's the simple past of swim? Swam. So number one is swam. Number two, does anyone know the answer? Number two is present perfect because the sentence says so far. Anytime the sentence has so far, it's always present perfect. So far this week, we have studied a lot. We have studied a lot. You need have plus past participle for present perfect. Number three, is it present perfect or simple past? Number three is present perfect because the sentence has recently. Anytime the sentence has recently, it's present perfect. So we would say Theo has been very sick recently. Been is the past participle of be. Number four, is it simple past or present perfect? Number four is simple past because the sentence has yesterday. When the sentence has a time word like yesterday, last year, last month, it's simple past. So what's the past of have? The past of have is had. I had a terrible headache yesterday. I had a terrible headache yesterday. Number five, is it simple past or present perfect? Number five is present perfect because it has the word lately. Lately is always present perfect. It has rained a lot lately. Rained is the past participle of rain. It has rained a lot lately. Number six, is it simple past or present perfect? Number six is simple past because the sentence says 10 years ago. They got married 10 years ago. Got is the past of get. Number 7, is it simple past or present perfect? Number 7 is present perfect because it says many times. The event is not complete. When the sentence says many times, the event is still continuous. So we say, I have been to Balboa Park many times. I'm sorry, Balboa Park many times. Number 7, I have been to Balboa Park many times. Number 7 is present perfect, not simple past, because the event is not complete. Please check your answers. Please check your answers. So I hope this video helped you. Please message me questions. Again, simple past, the event is finished. Present perfect, the event is not finished or we don't know the time. Have a wonderful day. Good night.